Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we set our sights on Santiel's Pride for another date with the Drukhari, possibly with Travantius himself, who technically should be dead, but also he went down way too easy and he left no salvageable remains in a lab with a very notable amount of high-end cloning equipment. So, you know, not too hard to connect the dots there. Though first, of course, we've got a ton of gear to pick up here from our latest spate of colony projects. Though obviously we're kind of skimming through it since the vast bulk of this stuff just isn't really useful to us. I just didn't want to skip over it entirely. Also, I do want to note that we have maxed out our rep with the Fellowship of the Void. And I will also note that Kaspalika and the Explorators not far behind. Since both of those accept Mechanicus cargo, that actually makes it exceptionally easy to max them out as well, since we technically have an infinite supply, thanks to some of our previous colony decisions. So really, at this point, it's just the Drusians who we're way behind on. And the Imperial Navy, who's coming along but is largely restricted by the number of space battles we get into. Oh, and then I will also note, these are quite possibly the best items of this particular batch. The Compensator Gloves and the improved Heavy Bolter. Sadly, not a ton of use for our particular crew, since we don't have anyone who's gone full heavy weapons, aside from Argenta, and she's not part of our regular retinue. I mean, technically, I suppose Ulfar could benefit from the improved Heavy Bolter, but he would not be able to wear the Compensator Gloves, which does, sadly, very much restrict him when it comes to heavy weapons builds. That's it. Let's go hit up Santiel's Pride. See how fares the sector with the Black Hole Sun, and perhaps take their pain away. Oh, but before we do, we actually have one other thing on our to-do list. Lord Captain, Viabo 6 begs for help. Something terrible prowls the planet, searching for a way to wipe out the planet's inhabitants. Victims died in small groups at first, so they dismissed it as simple accidents. A poisoning, a crash transport, a fire. But the death toll has started to rise, and explaining everything as mere coincidence is no longer an option. The enemy appears to be testing out different methods of killing your subjects, like it's looking for the most efficient way to murder as many of them at once as possible. Our pick traps sometimes catch sight of a blurry dark shadow walking among the people, but no one has actually seen it with their own eyes. A blurry dark figure, you say? Well, gosh, that sounds a mite bit familiar, considering some of our other recent experiences. What can you tell me about these strange deaths? Various sorts of mechanical failures. Ventilation systems emitting substances that have no business being there. Auspexes registering spikes of radiation. Maintenance systems shutting down for no apparent reason. It all resembles extermination experiments, with your servants playing the role of test subject. I see. Thoughts, people? The art of hunting relies on the art of hiding. If you cannot see your target, then make it so the target cannot see you. Deceive its senses and seize your advantage. A predator walks among your people? Well then, it's time we became predators ourselves. Your servants can't see it and don't know where its lair lies, but I will tell you how to find it. You need to spark the beast's curiosity. Leave something it craves out in the open and mark it so that you can track the beast as it's carrying the bait away in its jaws. That is how we hunt cunning prey on Fenris. Oh, interesting. No rewards listed on this one, just assorted skill checks. Awareness for Yurliet, Xenos for Ulfar. I'm guessing this one would have been Marazai if he were still with us. Which, ironically, actually looks to be our best option if we don't want excess collateral damage. Yeah, I mean, Ulfar's thing in particular, although it is a sound concept in theory, is essentially to bait it with what it wants, which would be lives. So we'd be sacrificing someone for the sake of tracking it back to its lair. And your Liet's thing, of course, would take a few tries to get right, which I'd wager would also result in the first few groups getting slaughtered. So entirely unmanned traps does seem like our best bet. If it can't be tracked by people, just take the people out of the equation. Set up automated defenses, traps. May the Emperor grant us victory over this foe. Soon enough, the mysterious shadow walked into one of the devious traps and, wounded by the powerful explosion, ran for its life. Cornered in its den, the monster fought its final battle and was slain. It was a terrifying Xenos with a metallic skeletal body and a single emerald eye. Its lair turned out to be a crypt-like chamber, and beneath it was an entire fortress buried in stone. The walls were covered in glyphs similar to the mysterious patterns that the mad convicts had been drawing. Okay, right, so once again, we're really done beating around the bush here. That's just a straight-up Necron. The chamber also contained the dissected remains of the missing miners. The Omnissiah's servants studied the bodies, the crypt, and the Xenos' corpse, hypothesizing that the Inhuman belonged to a caste of sages among its kind. It had remained in stasis for ages untold, but had recently been awakened either by the mining efforts or the explosions caused by the Drukhari invaders. After killing everyone who had approached its lair, the creature tried to wake its brethren, but millennia of tectonic shifts had crushed the underground fortress. The creature was alone. Which nets us an ancient Xeno mechanism. Whenever the wearer ends their turn, they deal energy damage with armor pen, scaling off intelligence, to all adjacent creatures. All creatures, not all enemies, so friendly fire theoretically possible. Also, if you damage too many creatures, the wearer becomes staggered. I've got to say, that doesn't sound all that great. I mean, Pass could theoretically get use out of it. The problem being, then it adds the complication of having to worry about where he ends every turn. I'm just not sure that's worth the headache. The fearsome insects, the ones that assailed the colony, were the only tools the Xenos had left, so it chose to lie in wait. But when the heretics of the Final Dawn sabotaged the fortress's reactor in their attempts to destroy the planet, the Xenos grew restless and started searching for a way to exterminate the humans. Now the last Xenos survivor was dead, and so was its entire race. Or at least, so prayed every denizen of Viabo 6. Yeah, I'm sure that's how it'll work out. I'm sure we've seen the last of these things and will never encounter them again. Also, props to the Cult of the Final Dawn for actually helping us solve a potential planetary catastrophe on Viabo 6. Nice to see Conrad's as competent as ever. So we should have that project banked now, right? Master of the Shadowy Expanse. Yes, there it is. Yeah, it threw me a little bit because it didn't actually give us a reward pop-up, just the story event. And look at that. We do indeed have our plus 10 on mental stats. Val now finally joins the 100+ club. Officially exceeding Pask in terms of raw intelligence. Sadly, that does not give us a bonus to perception, which would have been very nice. But it does prop up our willpower and our fellowship. Willpower is something we've been sorely lacking, but we're up about an effective 20 points on that now. Fellowship's less of a big deal, since we took that one trait that swaps our fellowship checks to intelligence. But, you know, we'll take it. Never gonna say no to free ability points. And on we go. Lord Captain, I bring you new information about the Xeno device that you discovered during your time away. Ever since your return, the tech priests have been making every effort to comprehend the nature of this mysterious technology, and they have succeeded, to an extent. After many rituals and pleas to the machine god, they awakened the Xeno artifact. For but a moment, it produced a holographic copy of a planet and coordinates that match a location in Langrand's belt. Perhaps you will wish to see with your own eyes what this destination holds. Oh, okay. Well, that's the mysterious prism we found in Tervantius's lab, which would imply that he might actually be in Langrand's belt, not in Nola Septum. Huh. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the world we found the Drukhari death trap on, with all the turrets and the mines and such. So now I guess we know who actually set it up. Gotta say it, that's a callback I wasn't really expecting us to circle back on. So I guess the prism must trigger something in that weird little hidden area we found there. Sadly, that is well away from where we are currently, but I'll add that to the to-do list. For now, though, we're already in Nola Septum, so I guess we'll just stick with whatever's going on over here. Which I imagine is also Drukhari, but possibly not Tervantius. Lord Captain, the ne'er-do-wells from the Augur crew are reporting that we've reached the Nola Septum system, where a Promethium refining hive, Santiel's pride, is located. Bend my mother over the golden throne! The transmission ends abruptly and resumes with a loud click several moments later. Emperor preserve us, Lord Captain. The entire system's darker than the inside of a Grox is ours. The local star, it's not there. Stars do not vanish from the sky without a reason. The same villains may be at work here as in the Rycad system. Lord Captain, Santiel's pride is an object of strategic importance to the Korda dynasty. It alone covers the Promethium needs of their entire protectorate. It is not difficult to figure out what happened. The damned Xenos had their work cut out for them, but by the throne, they succeeded. This does not mean that we can leave the important strategic assets for them to plunder. I suggest we do House Korda a favor and salvage the remains of their Promethium. Another system is missing its star. You hear a quiver of outrage in Heinrich's voice, followed by a deep exhale. We need to see if there are Xenos on that frozen world, and should our suspicion be confirmed, exterminate them. If you disagree, let me remind you that the protectorate of one of the rogue traders of the Coronis Expanse has lost several billions of its subjects. Can you be certain that the same won't happen to Dargonis? Or another of your worlds? Hi, Heinrichs, welcome to the conversation. Just to clarify, we are here expressly to do something about it. You really don't have to give me the hard sell. Forgive me, Shireen, but I refuse to believe that among the billions of Korda subjects, there wasn't at least a handful of desperate souls, still trusting in the Exalted One's providence, clinging to life. Who will become their salvation, if not you? Uh-huh. Thank you for your comprehensive report, Ravor. Vigdis takes over the channel, her vexation showing only in the force with which she clicks her box. Apologies, Lord Captain. As the esteemed Master Helmsman just stated, the Augur crew is troubled by the anomalous absence of a star at the heart of the system. As for the Hive world, I'm afraid it is forever lost to the Imperium, as are the lives of billions of its children. Well, I mean, as per usual, even if we can't save, we can at least avenge. And we do see a very distinct Drukhari fleet over yonder. Let me just skim these other BOIs real quick, then we'll get that taken care of. Oh, here we go. Right, so I guess this would be refugees from Santiel's Pride. Guess they didn't make it too far. Bad for them, but good for our cargo holds. That said, let's show them we won't put up with this sort of elf-destructive behavior. Right. Immediately suppressed. No surprise there. Only one round on most of them, though. Drukhari frigate off right. And off left. And in front of us? Oh, no, behind. Okay. Shadow Field's already up and running. Kind of puts us in a tricky spot here. We're not going to outrun them, but we might be able to distract them. So we'll pull hard left, but drop torps first. That'll present them with an easy target. And then this will put us just past Sword 8. And, you know, we'll take a couple of quick pot shots. Yeah, that seems about right. Those shadow fields are like minus 60 to hit, so the odds weren't really in our favor there. Hold. Okay. Sword to our defense. Completely ate that one. Nice. Those Drukhari lances are pretty low power. Though I suppose the torpedoes pack more punch. And speaking of torpedoes, solid hit, field back up. Let's hammer Talon 1 while we're here. Nice. Ooh, okay. We might be able to finish that one off. Twist. Less than I'd hoped, but might still get it done. Nice. Talon 1, out. Hard right. Minor ding. Keep pushing. Shields to starboard. Actually, can we? No, too far. I mean, we could range extend, but I'm not sure it's worth it while they've got the field up. Torpedoes out. Shields to starboard. And hold. Sword 8, trying to push back the tide. Okay. Okay, that wasn't awful. Uh-oh. And rest in pieces, Sword 8. Man, those poor guys, they just cannot catch a break. Alright, let's wrap this up. Talon 2 should be an easy kill. Talon 3 dinged. Focus fire 2. Talon 2 out. And full bore Talon 3. Let's end tucked behind that salvo. It won't be able to turn around fast enough, though we might still be in danger of the other one we just left behind. But hopefully it will be distracted. No luck with the lances. Let's slide on by. We'll go point blank with the port guns. Hey, okay. I mean, took a pretty hefty hit there, but our shields ate it, so we can quite literally live with that. And now we just gotta wait for these torpedoes to time out. Nice. Drukhari fleet, from Talon Ted to Talon Dead. Nicely done, people. And, you know, a salute to the Sword 8. Stride through those gates, shiny and chrome. Let's go ahead and top off while we're still thinking about it. And Santiel's Pride. Pride hath cometh. Let's take that fall. New information has arrived, Lord Kenton. We managed to detect a residual heat signature on one of the continents of Santiel's Pride, but there's no clear indication of its origin. The crew is waiting for further instructions and praying for the souls of the deceased with extraordinary zeal. Dispatch rescue teams. If anyone's still alive down there, I want them brought back, safe and sound. Except Drukhari. Obviously, don't bring them back. Really shouldn't have to say that, but we've had Drukhari on this ship like 3 times. The order is clear. The rescue shuttles have been dispatched to the suggested evacuation points and the likely locations of hidden bunkers. Is there anything else you desire? Yeah. Abby made a good point earlier. Let's send out a secondary team to salvage what Promethium we can. Incendia won't miss it once this whole world's frozen over. Oh, just a single stack? I mean, yeah, we'll take it. That's still like 200 rep with the Drusians. I will order the Colonial Expedition Chamber to start deploying the Extractium. Will the Lord Captain give further instructions? Oh, gosh darn it, I did not realize that was going to use our last mobile Extractium. I was actually trying to save that, but alright. I guess that's all the more reason for us to get back to Footfall in hopes we can pull at least one more stack. Prepare my personal shuttle, too. I've still got a score to settle with those Drukhari. The helmsman's sour voice fills the channel again. If you're so eager to freeze your esteemed arse off, Lord Captain, who are we to object? Thanks, Ravor. Knew you'd understand. And welcome back, Abby. Okay, nothing notable on our flyover. Now we're looking over here. Oh. Alright, we've got lights in a window. So I'm guessing we're supposed to go down there. Door off left, just behind the angel statue. Okay, we've got some direction. So how do we actually get down there? Also, let's make sure we scour all the corners.
I always keep my options open.
The tower's foundation goes down for tens of meters, and the spires are obscured by the superstructures on the upper levels. Okay, platform seems clear. Hold tight, men. We'll be back.
Angel of Death, you hail from a world blessed with danger, one that nurtures mighty warriors. Is this place anything like your home?
The frost here is like that of an ice throw's breath. This does bring back memories of Fenris, but the resemblance ends there. This world feels like cold oblivion, while Fenris bellows with the fight for survival and the promise of glory.
Right, well, I imagine Fenris still has a son. Thousands of bodies have merged into frozen snowdrifts, covering streets as far as the eye can see. It is unclear whether the formations occurred naturally, or if somebody purposefully piled the corpses up. Oh wow, yeah, that is actually pretty grim. Nice atmospheric design there, very spooky.
Keep your wits about you.
Also, I'm gonna say we can probably guess that's intentional. A delicate young woman lies curled up in a snowbank, like a living statue. Her thin hands are clutching a silken blanket. Sublime subdermal gems, full stack of jewelry. Writ of Passage, 90... 1555L. issued to Pulchrimus family, arriving at Footfall. Signed Harbormaster Maleficus Acticus. Engraved pendants. A gold pendant with a silver inscription. To my darling S. From D. Inside are hand-painted portraits of an elderly man, his wife, and daughter. Oh, that's sad. But it does seem pretty straightforward. This is clearly the daughter. The parents are probably waiting on Footfall to see if she got out. So we should deliver these quest-marked pendants to them. It's not much, but hopefully we can give them closure. The snow clearly shows the trail of a body being dragged, and reveals several pairs of footprints. Judging by their shape, none of them belong to a human. Yeah, let's not go that way just yet. Oh. Begone, nightmares! Burn in his punishing flame! Your pathetic god will not help you, monkey! Okay, well, I'm glad we just watched that play out. Well done, guys. I guess we should get after him then. Or, you know, the game didn't exactly rush us along, so I'm sure we can take a moment to read this entire textbook. Notes on Life in the Hive by LG, historian and traveler. The world turned out to be completely different from what I had imagined. My distant home of LVR Tani, though swathed in black sands, is nowhere as hot as this stone cocoon. Not even the force field can shield us from the embrace of the local star. In daylight hours, staying close to the outer walls would be insane. A person would either suffer heat stroke or simply be boiled alive. The surface does not have the time to cool after darkness comes, so living here is like being encased in a steam barrel at all times. Throne be praised, the upper city has cooling zones that provide welcome relief. Despite the predatory prices and absolute disdain the locals have shown toward my quickly lightening purse, the glacial gardens remain my favorite place to relax. Despite all its austerity and piousness, the hive is crawling with lawbreakers. I have been robbed thrice, and almost killed twice this cycle alone. It makes procuring Obscura ridiculously simple. Not that I have tried it, of course, but the crooks on every corner literally shove it into my face. Another thing that surprised me is the city's incredible work shifts. The planet turns on its axis once every 38 hours, and 25 of those are usually spent in the manufactorums. Another 5 to 7 hours are dedicated to mandatory public service, like cleaning streets, attending sermons, and patrolling floors, so only 6 remain for rest and domestic chores. I must have been blessed by the Emperor when Justice Greybergen invited me to stay at her truly magnificent estate. The view from the top of the Spire of Glory is fantastically beautiful. Up here, one cannot hear the din of the overflowing streets or smell the stench of refuse. And yet, the taller the spire, the crueler the stars' scalding kisses become. Justice Greybergen calls it a divine blessing. I am not going to argue and will just quietly take my leave. Interesting, interesting. Now let's get after that guy.
I always have a backup plan.
The once majestic bridge for ritual processions was damaged when a civilian orbital shuttle collided with it. Though that is clearly an area we can get to, we just have to find a way around. And we've got hostiles menacing a lone scout, but notably not attacking them.
Your kind has no right to exist.
Are you challenging me, Phil?
I am. What are you going to do about it? Honestly, looks to be a fairly trivial fight. Unless they can actually take out the scout. That's one thing we'll have to be wary of. We'll have Abby pull their attention as quickly as possible. Then sweep in, try to secure the survivor. All right, let's do this. Task up first. Let's sweep in on right, get ourselves set.
The outside knows all, comprehends all.
7 stacks, we'll take it. Front zone set. Triple stratagem. Oh, plasma. We'll get a refund.
Woe to you!
Nice, nice. Though sadly, that does mean we can no longer push up. But that's fine. Ulfar can still make use of the zone. Speaking of which, let's slap down the rest of our zones. Yeah, that works. This fight's not going to take long. Cass up next. Let's reel him in. Give those new boots a try.
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
Right, boots first. Then use the refund for Abby. So in theory, we should be able to use this. Yeah, looks about right. The scout is not part of the battle.
Face the navigator's might.
Nice. Oh, wait, why did you not get a refund? We definitely hit more than 2. Oh, they all have... Gosh darn it. Right, at least 2 targets have to be within 2 spaces. I glossed over that part. Well, that does make it a lot harder to set up, but, I mean, a full 2 AP refund is also nothing to sneeze at, so... Yeah, sorry, Abby. You'll have to hold off for a sec. It definitely helps balance out the boots a bit, but I think we can still get some decent use out of them. I just need to make sure I actually use them right. Val up next. Let's lay down some cover. Statue blocks most line of sight, but we'll just focus down the guy on left. Relocate next turn.
I'll see to it personally.
8 stacks. Nice.
High momentum.
It's as good as...
Target out. Hold. And Ulfar. Let's lay down some fire.
Wolves red in disguise.
Oh, snap. Okay, you know, yeah, this did feel a mite bit too easy. I'm kind of wishing I'd gone ahead and swapped that portable deflector onto Val. I'm gonna have to maybe rethink that one. We'd be swapping it in for the ring, so that would mean no more plus 30 resolve boost. Which also comes in handy.
None can do this better than a warrior of the All-Father.
Free kick, knife strike.
You call this a strike?
No, that was a gesture of disdain. This is a strike. Target out. AP and attack refunded. Too awkward to hit this guy on right, so yeah, back towards Val, I think. In fact, let's lay down more fire. And knife strike.
I feel
Lovely.
breath.
And hold.
So shall it be.
You suck.
Stroke of luck.
My artifice is unsurpassed.
Ow. Might be time to bust out that new double barrel. Actually, scratch that. Abby's got us.
You will not withstand my vengeance.
Thanks, Abby. Rude.
Their death won't be easy.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
This will be a parting caress.
Wow, you guys really do kind of suck. Which does kind of, once again, circle me back around to the idea of this all being an elaborate decoy.
As the tenants demand, killing brings me no pleasure.
A bunch of expendable troops sacrificed for the sake of getting us to trust yet another traitor. But I guess we'll see. Oh, okay, I guess you... Dance is supposed to provoke. I'm not sure why it didn't. I'll have to read up on it again later. Double check the particulars.
You will pay for this. This can't be.
2 charges and an ult. Back on tap. Carnival of Misery.
The other side awaits.
Less impact than I thought, but let's go for the inevitable.
The shadows will see it done.
And withdraw. Which puts us back within jumping range? Yes. Perfect.
I will not submit.
And again. Multi-jump.
Woe to you!
I'll return the pain tenfold.
And we're good.
I'll brush this off.
Val getting a little dinged up there. We'll get Cass on that momentarily. Get some use out of that new range heal.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful.
Corner, so no good for melee. We're just here for support. Cass up. Let's get Val patched. This should clear the fresh injury.
If I may,
Pull.
Strike!
And punish. All you, Val.
I can hear her whisper.
Target's clear. Sadly, not a whole lot to show for it. I mean, the main downside to fighting Drukhari now is that we honestly just don't really need the Xenotech anymore. Yeah, we need melee, we need armor, we need holy, jewelry, fuel, provisions, ship parts. The God Emperor silently gazes down upon the once teeming streets. Ooh, nice. All right, let's see what this guy has for us. The quivering figure, wrapped in several layers of tattered clothes, is pointing an old lasgun at you. Who are you? In the name of the God Emperor, keep away from me! In another time and place, I would immediately demand you cut the peasant down for such an outburst. And yet, it pains me to see his mind is so tightly constricted by greenish-black thorns. Never have I seen such a frightening color. This person, this hive, everything here is drenched with despair. Distress seems genuine, might be trustworthy. Easy, friend. The name's Valen. Von Valancius, perhaps you've heard of me? Who? You're one of the Star Children, right? I knew the Emperor could not have abandoned us. You have come to save us, have you not? May the throne bless your radiant soul. I am Vir, one of the few survivors on this dispossessed world. The elders have been waiting for a sign from the heavens for so long. Too much time has passed, so they died. But may he smite me if you are not the one. You will help the ones in need of salvation, won't you? Vir freezes for a second, looking at you reverently and awkwardly shuffling his feet. You have saved my skin, holiest one, but my brothers in faith and misery were not as lucky. The living nightmares grabbed us the moment we stuck our noses out to the surface, trying to survive. I managed to break free and escape, leaving my friends behind. Woe is me! I am beside myself with shame. I am begging you, children of the stars, please, save my comrades, save... Vir falters, gulps, and whispers almost breathlessly. Save Albris. I will take you there, even if it cost me my life. All right, laying it on pretty thick there. I had some questions. Yes? Yes, of course, but please be quick. The shaking man keeps glancing around nervously. Interesting. Why hasn't Incendia come to your aid? The poor man's eyes grow round and wide with terror. Had the mistress of this world learned we lost Santiel's pride, the punishment would be more dire than any nightmare can inflict. Charming. Your star, do you have any idea what happened to it? If only someone knew. I've spent my entire life in the Underhive. I only ever saw daylight once, so I'm not missing it much now. But the cold. It's the cold that was our undoing. The heat still lingers in the depths of the hive. That's where we are sheltering. Well, we were until recently. Until all the heat escaped the central pillar. When it did, myself and the others came up to get help and bring back supplies. And found you. So there are other survivors, in bunkers or areas of the Underhive? Could you take us to them? Vir gives you a frightened look. The bunkers were the first to fall, my savior. Starvation finished what the nightmare started. It was easier to survive in small groups, but they too perished one after the other. The three of us have not seen anyone else alive for a while now. Only the corpses and his scourges. And yeah, we're not going to come down on him for running. What was he going to do? All right, I've heard enough. Throne be praised. Let's go? Yes, let us go. Still on the fence about you. If I were more certain, I'd tell you to just get back to my shuttle and stay there while I take care of the rest, but it did feel like he was a bit over the top at times. Could be genuine panic, but it's hard to say. I think better to keep him close, watch for signs. Really? The wretch cannot believe his ears. Right away. Follow me and don't lag behind. And be very, very quiet. The nightmares roam the streets. Trust me, I know. They will be lying in wait up ahead, so tread carefully. Oh, okay. Just like that. Straight after me. Alright, well see, now I'm suspicious again. Warning us of a potential ambush is a point in his favor. But it really does feel like he's trying to lure us somewhere. Oh, hi. Hello. Hello, random Blade Masters watching us down here. Or maybe just completely coincidentally hanging out near that corpse. That is a point against him, especially after he acted like he knew we were being watched. Oh, man. I'm not really sure about this guy. The thing is, like, normally I'd be apt to at least mostly trust him, but after what happened back on Raikadi, I'm not so sure, because we also ran into a soldier there who had been turned, and of course we've run into several other compromised Drukhari agents since then, including on our own ship. That said, I guess we'll find out soon. We'll hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Arrow Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Are you challenging me, Phil?